All right, guys, today we're going to talk about utilizing your talents. God has given every single one of us different talents, different abilities, and that's what makes us unique individuals, right? And so I want to do an episode here about utilizing your talents. Now, some of you may be in a position where you love your career or your calling or whatever you're doing, and maybe you want to find a way to integrate more of your skill set, more of your giftings to be better. Or maybe you want to change your career and find a career that's more suited towards your talents. You want to be happier. Doesn't that just sound better? So many people feel like they're in a dead-end job or in a dead-end situation and they want to find a way out of it. Well, I always suggest, okay, what do you love to do? Find your talents. What are you good at? And so let's talk a little bit about utilizing your talents. Let me give you just a couple brief stories. So when I first started entrepreneurship, speaking, engaging with other people, it was in my early 20s. And I remember I was at just a very relaxed environment. There was about 20 of us. We were all getting pizza. And one of the leaders of that organization said, "Hey, Dave, you've got a lot of good things happening in your business. Why don't you get up and just share a couple things you're doing?" And I'm telling you, I was so scared. I was so nervous. I had butterflies, and these were all people that I knew. So it wasn't like they were strangers. I was coming to give some TED talk. No, it was people I knew. But I was so scared to death of like just public speaking or getting in front of anybody. But I went ahead and did it. I was shaking. I was nervous. I couldn't make eye contact. My words were slurring. My words were stuttering. And I got through it. And then through the course of just like being forced almost out of my comfort zones, because something I wanted to do was be able to speak and serve others and help other people, I got better and better at it. I started reading books. I started studying other people that, give public talks. And then I got a chance to speak in front of 30,000 people. And that was really unnerving, but at the same time exhilarating. And I started to realize, I'm not the best orator in the world. I'm getting better with every video. But I started to realize I enjoy this. Like I enjoy when people get to learn from things that I've done. It's not about me getting the credit. I just like helping people. And if I can say something to help somebody, man, that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm doing something to help humanity, help others. So it was a talent that I didn't really know I had until I got out of my comfort zone. And now people say, "Man, when you explained something in that talk or that seminar, it made a lot more sense." And I've heard that topic a bunch of times, and it makes me feel good to know I've got a talent now that I didn't realize I had, and it's helping others. Another quick story is my wife, Jody. She is an amazing athlete, okay? But she really was focused in on basketball. That was her thing. She was really good at it. And, through the course of just being a mom, being an entrepreneur, doing ministry stuff, she just kind of filled up her life with just other things. And towards the last maybe 5 years or so, she started getting into this new sport called pickleball. All right, I think some of you guys already know where I'm going with this, and you're probably pickleball fanatics like her. Well, this girl, she went from just playing at a novice, like very low level, to being a very highly rated pickleball player, now a certified coach. She is a director in a different league. She is all over the place. And I live in South Carolina, the upstate of South Carolina. I can't go to a pickleball court now and she doesn't know somebody there. It doesn't matter where we play. She is phenomenal. And she's getting better and better with every tournament. But this is like how many opportunities have opened up to her because she's really taking advantage of this talent she didn't know she had. And so that's just a great example. And she's probably just blushing as I say this about her. But I always say she's a professional pickleball player. She hates that, but she's really, really good. Those are just a couple different examples and stories on things that my wife and I personally found that we didn't even realize we were good at until we tried it and really got out of our comfort zone to make it happen. So let me give you a couple different, it's a little bit like a little quiz, not really a quiz, but maybe 5 points, 5 tips to help you. So get your notepads out. You can pause the video, get your notepads. Here we go. Tip number 1, find your closest friends and family and ask them their opinion. What are the top 2 traits that you have? Like, "Hey, buddy, what are the top 2 talents or things you think I'm good at?" And ask enough family and friends, maybe at least 15. That way you can kind of get a sense of some good data to say, okay, yeah, I maybe didn't even realize I have these talents or these abilities, but other people see it in me. That's a great way to find some talents that maybe you didn't know you have, or maybe you reinforce the ones that you did know you have. Number 2, what things come easy to you? Like what skills come easy to you? That's a good way to identify talents that maybe you have or didn't know you had. Number 2, what skills come easy to you? Number 3, what do you enjoy doing? Like, what are some things you enjoy doing the most? Okay, write that down. And you'll start to see a theme here of just different things that you're good at. Number 4, this is an interesting one. Where do you spend your money? Like outside of your bills and outside of necessities, where do you like to spend your money? What are some things that you don't mind investing in because you enjoy them? Maybe track that back, because that could be something that maybe you can really expand into, a talent or something that you're really good at because you enjoy doing it or spending money on that. And of course, this is a spiritual podcast, so hey, number 5, why don't you just sit down and pray about it? Ask the Lord to give you some discernment and kind of share when you write these things down. Say, Lord, speak to me through these other 4 areas. Maybe give me some clarity on some things I'm really good at that I can lean into. I always have heard John Maxwell say, you spend most of the time on your strengths, not on your weaknesses. And you've heard some leadership gurus say the opposite, and that's okay. But I tend to agree with John Maxwell. Spend most of your times on your strengths and minimize some things and your weaknesses you're just going to have to get over and deal with. But if you focus on your strengths, you're going to go farther, further, and much less time to get those goals and things attained if you focus on your strengths and instead of your weaknesses. So those are 5 tips. Let me give you a couple scriptures and we'll wrap this up. So James chapter 1, verse 17 says, every good gift and every perfect gift comes from the Father. So that's just good to really meditate on in terms of like everything that is good about you has come from your Creator, and He has made you on purpose, for a purpose, and with a purpose, right? You hear me say that all the time. Here's another one. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10, as each one has received a gift, minister it to one another as good stewards of the grace of God. See, God has given us each talents and abilities. Like I said on the onset of this video, use them, steward them, help other people with these talents. And so I close with this is, use your talents for mankind. Use your talents to serve. I believe if you take money out of the equation and you start thinking about all the things that give you energy, that give you excitement, what are some things you can do to help mankind with those talents? And I feel like if you put purpose before profit, the profit always follows you. But if you're always putting, I got to make that dollar first, even though you hate it, you just don't really get a great, you pay the bill, but you're still chasing down that same thing. Okay, what am I here for? What's my purpose? And I feel like people that lean into their talents and their abilities, and that's how they kind of set their careers, or they find ways to offset. Maybe if they need to keep their career, maybe they find a hobby or a way to serve or volunteer. Use your talents, because I guarantee you, it's going to make you feel a lot better. We're here to serve. And so with that, I hope you guys have a great week. Let's use this video to go out there and motivate you guys to really just serve. Use your talents and abilities. Please share this video so more people can get inspired through Monday Motivation. God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next video.